okay?
There you are. All right.
We're back on shift inside the ambulance.
It's on. It's on.
Let's go.
With more medical emergencies
Mate, is that a little bit better now?
and more cameras.
Let's turn you on. Yes, turn me on, girl. Turn me on.
We're taking you back to the heart of the action.
Sharp scratch of cable.
There are some new faces
This could potentially be quite hazardous.
and some old friends.
Seriously?
Oh, that's disgusting.
Body-mounted cameras record every moment
Nice and slow.
to show you what goes on behind closed doors.
Caroline, can you hear me, sweet?
Crikey, that is a chunk.
You'll be on the front line with the ambulance crews from West Midlands Ambulance Service.
I reckon you could do this job, you know.
Woohoo!
Take a big deep breath and hold it for me.
Never a wasted moment when I'm being paid by the ambulance service.
As they deal with 3,000 emergency calls each day.
There's nothing to worry about.
That's not too bad, Petal, is it?
You were eager to come into the world, weren't you, Chicky?
Step inside the ambulance.
I love this job.
My car. I could not live without my car.
You haven't got a car.
My van. Right, it's the same thing. It's got 4 wheels and it moves and it goes brum brum.
You could not survive without your van.
No, OK, I'm not even saying my van then.
We want to get a new car next year.
You're going to get rid of one or just add to the collection?
I've been told if I want any more toys, I need to get rid of one. So, yeah.
But if I couldn't ride bikes, I don't know what I'd do because, you know, they're so much a part of my life. They're like my hobby, my interests, my fun and excitement on the weekends.
We're crazy, right? We bought a bigger sofa so we can fit the dogs on. We bought a bigger bed so the dogs could fit on. We bought a bigger car so the dogs could fit in. Can't imagine, like, my house with no dogs in it.
No.
Dogs are amazing.
Paramedic Gaz Clark
Oh, in that case.
and ambulance technician Lee Timbrell have been colleagues for 5 years.
Yeah, all right, here we go. Shades on.
Prescription. Can't see a thing if I put normal sunglasses on.
They're also mates outside work.
So this is Lee with his bald head putting on... Oh, no, sorry, you said prescription, not description. Oh, right, sorry, I thought you wanted me to describe it.
But the time for joking is over. Their next call is in.
Cat 1.
1373.
Right, where are we going?
9-7.
Just confirm category 1, please. 2-year-old male, unconscious, noisy breathing.
Okie dokie, thank you.
With an unconscious child needing their help, Gaz and Lee don't mess around. They're at the house in just 3 minutes.
So, little Toby. Behind the gate. Hello. Hello.
Toby's terrified mum, Susan, made the 999 call.
Hey, Toby.
Hello, mate.
Hi, Mum. What happened?
He was in the kitchen. He fell back outside on the radiator and then he started shaking. And then he went blue and then he was sick and all sort of vomit came out of his mouth.
So he's been sick as well?
Yeah, and then he fell unconscious for about 10 seconds.
So did he vomit while he was unconscious or when he came round?
When he was shaking.
Gaz and Lee need to work quickly to find out what's going on.
Crying's a good thing.
He did go unconscious.
Yeah. Seeing a child having a convulsion, it's always really scary. It's not so bad for ourselves when we've actually got some insight into what's going on, but I don't think we'd be able to act how we do professionally if it was one of our children at home.
Crying means he's breathing.
Susan's on the phone to her husband.
Okay, legs are responding to stimulation.
38.6.
He's already on his way to meet them at hospital.
We need to get the top off him, Mum. He's way too hot. One of the first things we do with young children is take the temperature. It's often a case with a young child, they can't actually sweat, so they can't actually lose body heat. It was over 38 degrees centigrade, which normally means that the patient's probably having a febrile convulsion. So it was very important to strip them off, cool them down, but not too rapidly.
Has he had breakfast?
Yeah, he's had a banana, a big bowl of grapes, and strawberries. Had a yogurt, that was it.
Hello. Do you want to try and reassure him? Just bring his legs up there.
The body has a defence mechanism at that age where it will have a fit. The fit expels energy and expels heat.
If you've never seen it before, it's extremely scary. He's not going to like you doing this, but that's a good thing. I'll choose 4.9. It's okay.
As a Category 1 paediatric case, operational manager Greg Smith is sent to the scene as backup.
Temperature of 38.6. Mum said he was witness to drop and have a fit. So chances are the drop was him starting to have the fit, rather than from him hitting his head and then having a fit.
Fortunately, Gaz and Lee have the situation under control.
Yeah, it looks like febrile. Started to have it, fell, banged his head. There's no baggy mosses at the back.
We couldn't 100% guarantee the chain of events leading up to the fall. Was it the fit that caused him to fall, or did he fall, bang his head and have the fit? So we deemed it was best for him to be seen by the paediatric staff at the hospital.
After a convulsion like this, and with his temperature alarmingly high, Gaz and Lee want to get Toby to hospital for further checks.
If you just want to pick him up. Febrile convulsions are a normal thing if they're running a bit of a temperature.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. Even the best medicines in the world.
I'm a trained children's nurse.
Oh, there you go then. OK.
Specialise in neonates, but...
Yeah, but everything goes out the window when it's your own.
Yeah.
Toby's 4-year-old brother Oliver needs to come to hospital too, but he's not very keen.
He's seen Lee's driving. That's why.
You can't stay here on your own, darling. It's all right, darling. Oliver, wait till you tell all your friends at nursery tomorrow you've been in an ambulance.
I have this effect on kids.
With both children now in tears, Gaz and Lee are eager to get moving. But before they can head off, they need to get Toby's temperature down.
Right, Mum, do you want to try and give him that? He might take it better off you tn off us.
The liquid paracetamol should bring his fever down.
Thank you.
Happy, Lee?
Mm-hmm.
Toby's medicine is starting to take effect, so Gaz can get ready to drive the family to hospital.
Thank you for coming.
No problem.
You scared me, little man. I've seen you got that kind of before.
So seeing a fit is scary, but seeing a fit in your own young child is really scary.
Good to go, Lee?
Yep.
Moving off.
With his temperature coming down, Toby's perking up.
Have you took that off your finger? Did you take that off? Oh, that look of innocence. It's like, me? Angelic look, that is.
Very chilled out there with your phones.
I know, you just look so chilled.
We'll come home again and not do that again.
We'd much rather he come here, be assessed for a bit, and then be absolutely fine and go home than the opposite.
Yeah, it's fair for wasting your time, but it's all right now.
No, it's never a waste of our time with kids.
We're going to take him in on the trolley, Mum. Look after Litton and get him off.
Toby will be taken to the children's ward and kept under observation. It's 5:45 on a warm May evening. Paramedics Matt Rodwell and Preet Lally are at base when their next call comes in.
999 mode activated.
So what have we got then, Preet?
We have a 35-year-old female with breathing problems, possibly asthma worsening.
Over 5.5 million people in the UK suffer from asthma. And the month of May, with its high pollen count, is peak season for asthma attacks.
They're flagging you, look.
Yeah. Any chance? You know what? If I suppose.
Park it in the middle.
I mean, it's not ideal, but at least people can still get past, can't they?
Yeah. Awesome, yeah.
The patient is a local mum who'd brought her 5-year-old daughter to a gym class. But she suddenly started struggling to breathe, and her friend called for help.
Nice and easy. Can't ignore asthma. You take the hot seat. Let me grab your wrist and tell me, what is the story?
Right. On yesterday, I just had really bad cold and flu symptoms, and then the next day this cough started, and I've got a cough.
Suffer from any breathing problems?
I'm asthmatic.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
Have a quick listen,
Okay.
all right? Just stay nice and quiet for a sec, because you're deafening me.
Asthma is a chronic disease. Kate's airways are tightening and narrowing, preventing adequate oxygen getting to her lungs. Without quick treatment, it'll become harder and harder to breathe.
Whilst my colleagues have to listen, I'm going to put some stickies on you, all right?
Okay.
It's just where we're doing your blood pressure, sweetheart, that's all. Nothing to panic about.
If you have a wheeze, we will give you a nebulizer. Let's get rid of that wheeze and get you breathing back to normal, all right? And then if you feel better after that, then we'll give you... I mean, are you on any inhalers at all?
Yeah, I've got my inhalers. I have a brown one and a blue one.
You've been taking them today?
Yeah.
And now it's just not making much difference at all?
Just the same.
Today, Kate's inhalers have let her down, so the paramedics need to give her something stronger.
Sweetheart, have you had one of these before?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, sugar. There we go.
A nebulizer turns liquid medicine into a fine mist, meaning it can get straight into Kate's lungs and open her airways.
Nice and easy. You can't ignore asthma.
Like your tattoos. Your tattoos are lovely. How many have you got in total?
She's absolutely covered.
My husband tattoos.
Oh,
Let me
okay,
just have
fair
a quick
enough.
listen now, darling.
The nebulizer should be having an effect by now, but Kate's still struggling with every breath.
So her asthma wasn't as controlled at that moment in time as I thought it would be. We'll give you another salbutamol. So we gave her another nebulizer. We asked her not to talk and to just concentrate on breathing in this medication. Right, no talking for a bit now, darling. Just breathe that in.
The crew has now been treating Kate for 14 minutes. Despite 2 doses of medicine, she's showing barely any improvement.
Kate was not responding as well as I would have liked her to. I could have given her back-to-back salbutamol, but she needed something else. She needed further intervention for her to make sure that her breathing stayed under control. Because you don't feel completely 100%.
Yeah.
I would be tempted to get you looked at.
Okay.
Because normally, if it's just a flare-up of asthma,
Yeah.
you give salbutamol and you're like, yeah, I'm 100% now, it's a lot better, but you're still feeling tight.
Yeah. Hello, darling. Hello.
Kate's husband Aid arrives with her 2 daughters.
Sorry. Otherwise you'll deafen me.
Just an asthma flare.
It can be anything. It could be pollen, it can be dust, it could be something, it could be anything, really.
Matt and Preet want to take Kate to A&E, but she just wants to go home.
Okay, fancy going at the hospital all night, 'cause it potentially could.
Well, hopefully it won't be all night.
All right, Kate, let's look at it this way then, sweetheart. I can pretty much guarantee you the minute you get home, you're going to be there for a couple of hours before you're going to need to call us again.
Okay? Yeah, I can almost guarantee it. The problem you've got, sweetheart, is it's taken 2 nebulizers for you to settle your breathing and you're still not right. So you're going to go home, OK, you're going to go home. You're still not right, your breathing's still quite poor, let's be brutally honest.
And your inhalers didn't work in the first place, that's why we're here. You know it's the right thing to do, don't you?
Eventually, after a great deal of persuasion, Kate agrees to go to hospital.
Because it's already getting tight, isn't it? Yeah, be truthful with me now.
How's it got on with me, Michael?
Exactly. With Preet unsure that Kate's getting any better, she needs to check her breathing again.
And let me just have a quick listen before I give you that. See if it's breathe. Yeah, back. I don't even have to. Yeah.
It's obvious to Preet that Kate's breathing is getting worse.
By your own admission, your breathing ain't right, and we can all see that. OK. God forbid we have to come back out to you and you're mega poorly.
Oh, God, I know.
Because that's like needles in arms, in veins, nebs, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? That's the last thing you want.
No.
So Matt gives Kate another nebulizer.
Apologies, sweetheart. I don't mean to pull it.
OK.
I'll jump in the front, Preet. Let me know when you want to get cracking.
Thank you.
No, I know what you mean, because it comes on so quickly and it's horrible.
I'd rather treat you now than later when you are gasping for breath.
So what do you think they'll give me to treat me then?
So what they can do is give you further steroids. Obviously what we're giving you, right, try and keep it straight like that for me, darling. That's it. Yeah, so what they'll give you is probably maybe something a bit stronger to keep everything open.
Kate's fed up of hospitals. It's only been 4 weeks since she had a tummy tuck after losing 6.5 stone in weight.
And what about your tummy tuck?
My tummy tuck, I'm out the moon with it. I never wanted to be skinny, but I'm happy. I'm very happy the way I am at the minute. You know, I'm counting the weeks, then 2 more weeks and I can get back to the gym. I love the gym. Love it, absolutely love it.
Is the scar like really visible?
No, it's very tiny. And your pants cover it, so great.
I always wondered if I wanted to get surgery done, because I put on so much weight with this job. I know I'm not huge, I know I'm not, but when you know you're not comfortable...
Yeah, you know your body limits, don't you?
Yes. I used to be, like, stick thin.
Really?
But not unhealthy stick thin. I was healthy.
Big now.
I know,
Not big.
but I've got rolls that I don't
You know
want.
yourself, don't you?
You know?
Kate can now be checked by doctors at A&E to try to work out what's causing her asthma attacks. Both Preet and Matt have learned the hard way that asthma can quickly spiral out of control.
I had a life-threatening asthma in a child.
I've had brittle asthma in a 17-year-old. That did not go well. We worked on her for over 2.5 hours, but she ended up being an organ donor. It was so sad.
We went, had a child, I can't remember how old they were, I think like 6, 7, something like that. We get there and she's got all the red flags. No, accessory muscle use, she's tripod and she can't talk, she looks anxious as anything. You know, they get that panicky kind of anxious look.
And yeah, that the eyes, it's the eyes
You just
that
look at them
you
and they're just like...
help me, like, I can't, oh, that's horrible.
Looked like he was going on holiday. You see his big briefcase?
No, I didn't actually. I love holiday.
Preet, so you're going on holiday this year?
Yeah.
Where are you off to?
Dominican Republic.
Jesus,
Oh,
that's going to be
I
swell
cannot
doing.
wait.
Did you enjoy your week at home anyway? I did, as a matter of fact. I went nice to get away back to Wales. I went sailing. Did you choose sailing because it doesn't matter if you get wet from the rain? Well, shut up.
I keep talking about going to New Zealand or something like that.
Why New Zealand?
Because Lord of the Rings was filmed there.
I'll tell you where I want to drive to. I'm going to drive to Moscow and back for €1.
You can bring us back some vodka.
It's another day at work for Preet Lally. Today, she's partnered with Leon Ascari, and they've just dropped off a patient at A&E.
Oh, RTC? Oh, round the corner. Junction Presswood Road and Longford Road in Wolverhampton.
Oh, right.
Oh, there it is, look. There, Presswood Road. Literally the road opposite New Cross.
They've been called to a rush-hour car crash just 500 metres from the hospital.
Apparently the RTC's there. We've got 2 vehicles and 3 patients. 1 may be trapped. Police on scene, 2 helicopters en route.
A taxi and a car have collided on a busy road in rush hour.
Nicely block the road here.
Oh, yes.
The 3 people, 2 ladies in this car, the gentleman in there.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, sorry.
Right, sweetheart, just check them 2 about breathing, chest pain, anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do, yeah. Right, so.
Whilst Leon deals with the occupants of one car, Preet assesses taxi driver Syed in the other.
Can you just keep looking at me, all right? Just keep looking straight ahead. Right, how you doing, mate? Any pain anywhere?
I've got pain here and my back because my head shake.
Okay, tell me if it hurts. I'm just going to put my hand there.
It's not hurting me.
Good, good. Okay, look towards me. Now look towards that car over there.
Yeah.
Any central C-spine pain?
I've got pain here.
Yeah,
bad, yeah,
but nothing in the middle
Nothing here.
Right,
Oh.
lovely, okay.
Very bad pain here.
All right, darling.
Leon reports back on his patients.
They've both got chest pain, but they're saying it's like a rubbing pain from where the seatbelt was. It follows the seatbelt line.
Sure.
Breathing's fine.
C-spine's all right?
I'm just about to have a pressure from there.
Awesome, thank you.
Syed is trapped inside his taxi by the other car in the collision. Preet needs to assess the safest way of getting him out.
I'm back. Basically, it's just about getting you out. Can you lower the seat? Lower it all the way
I
down.
don't want to move my head into it. I'm scared.
Don't be scared. Look, listen to me. You're all right. Let me feel your pulse. Come here. Yeah. It's a little bit fast. Just try and relax.
The possibility of a neck injury makes getting Syed out of the car more complex.
Yes.
What's this gentleman?
This, I'm querying concussion.
Concussion.
He's not feeling nauseous or anything, but he's saying that everything is hurting him. A little bit of blurred vision and such, but no other pain anywhere else. It's just trying to get him out without moving his head too much.
That's
the only
probably,
thing.
I think we're going to need fire to get him out, because that car, I don't think I'm happy to move that.
Right,
So we're going to need fire to come and do the cutting.
Thank you. Can we request fire to attend for an entrapment? Patient is stable, but we're not going to be able to get the patient out. We want to keep his head nice and steady.
But while Preet's been talking to the fire team, her patient has already moved himself into the passenger seat.
You should not have gone against my advice. Just listen to the person that's telling you. Said was worried about the car being cut, getting the roof taken off. I think in his mind, the car didn't belong to him. You know, it belonged to, you know, the company or whatever, and he just didn't want to take the risk. Give me a second. Hello. Hi. Patient that wasn't trapped was this one. Against advice, he's moved to the passenger seat, so we can now get him out now. So
Okay.
we no longer have somebody trapped. I did update control. I don't know whether they...
So, out to that then. So, we agree with what you're going to do.
Yes.
You're going to get him out. But as a precaution, why don't we stabilise anyway to take the movement out of the car? We're not cutting anything, we're just going to stabilise the vehicle.
If you... Yeah, okay.
Can we stabilise that vehicle, please?
Thank you.
Okay.
Handbrake on? No, now it is.
Preet now needs to move Syed to the safety of the ambulance for further checks.
Right, are you ready to get out the car? Yeah? Go on then, sweet. How'd you feel?
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
This way. Take a seat on my chair. I'm going to do some obs on you.
Emergency crew Lee Stevens has arrived to help out.
How do you feel?
Feel alright, just a pain on my head, this eyes, and
arms.
there, a little bit obviously is hit.
I think you might have been a little bit concussed back when you were
my head
shaking around a bit. Are you still feeling quite anxious? Breathe. Calm.
But despite what's happened, Syed is adamant he doesn't want to go to hospital.
See, now your pulse is still a little bit on the high side for me. You are just hitting the 100.
Okay,
so you are calming down,
Yeah.
but not as quick as I'd like you to. Are you sure you don't want to go to hospital?
No, I told us the point, you know. Nothing wrong.
Because I would advise you to go.
Yeah. I'm okay now, I feel good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
If you start feeling sick,
Yeah.
start getting visual disturbances or anything like that, discharge from the ear, something, you know, anything like that, give us a call back. All right? You are free to go.
Yeah.
Thank you, yeah.
So that was an interesting one. Many RTCs for you?
Yeah, I've not had many. I think that's my second one since being a para.
Really?
Yeah.
I get one every other day.
Do you?
Yeah.
Should work with you more often.
Yeah. Outside.
We are going to Wolverhampton.
999 road.
It's 8 p.m. and 21-year-old trainee Georgia Parkinson and paramedic Stewart Punter are 3 hours into their night shift.
Fallen. Difficulty in breathing.
They're on their way to their third patient of the day who's collapsed in the street.
What's this? Is this a call? Hello, darling. What are you doing down there?
Because I was suffering with asthma.
With asthma?
And I'm
Okey-dokey.
short of breath. I got been.
Have you fallen?
Yeah, I
You-
fell.
Do you want a hand?
Nice
Hold
to see.
on.
What's your name, buddy?
Brian Dunn.
Brian.
Take my hand with that one.
So for a job like Brian, you've got to wonder why Brian's ended up on the floor. Has he been drinking? Is it something medical? Is it a condition he has? This is why I love this job. You never know what you're going to go to, and you've got to try and work out what's wrong with somebody when you get there.
Steady.
I lost some balance then.
You had a few too many shandies. Take a seat on this one, buddy.
Right then.
And I had 4 points today because I worked out till 4 o'clock and I had 4 points all I've had.
Since 4 o'clock? All right.
Although Brian has had a few drinks today, he's adamant that his breathing difficulties are what made him collapse.
What, did you...
Lost my balance.
Just lost your balance. Did you feel dizzy or anything?
Yeah, felt dizzy.
Felt dizzy.
I had a medical at work, like,
What did you do?
bandsaw operator.
Okay.
And they sent me for a medical, done my breathing test, and he said, I got lungs like a 93-year-old.
That's not good.
Brian's a lifelong smoker. That and his breathing problems have taken their toll on his lungs, ageing him by over 25 years.
I said, flip me, mate, I'm on a 57.
Have you had any problems today with your asthma? You have? Have you got your inhalers? Have you used your blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel now?
Twice a day, I feel terrible.
You feel terrible?
That's why I passed out.
The more history you can get, the easier a diagnosis can become, or more complicated. I think Brian was a bit complicated.
What came on first, your dizziness or your breathing?
Dizziness.
Dizziness, and then you felt you couldn't breathe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been smoking now, 40-odd years.
It's hard to give up a habit like that, isn't it?
Oh.
Smoking makes asthma worse in the long term, but even day-to-day can trigger an asthma attack.
Well, I've cut them down.
Good. That's a start, isn't it?
10, 12 a day. I used to...
Just pop your jacket off, buddy.
I used to smoke about 20, 30 a day.
Well, that's somewhere, isn't it? It's starting.
Oh.
That's good to get down to 10. Have you noticed your breathing get better since? No.
Right, can we take this one off as well?
The detective work continues.
You in any pain at all? You are? Whereabouts?
Chest. Middle of my chest.
In the middle of... What sort of pain is it?
Pretty sharp.
It's sharp. You been coughing anything up?
Only white phlegm.
White phlegm. OK. How long have you been coughing that up for?
Ages.
Ages. Can I have a listen to your chest?
Finally, there's a clue to what's making Brian feel so unwell.
I'm struggling for breath now and again.
It sounds like Brian might have an infection on his chest.
What about this unsteadiness on your feet, then?
I don't know what's causing that.
Are you dizzy now? You dizzy now?
They ask Brian to stand up to check his balance.
What, it can stand up, never mind.
Do you have a stick or anything that you walk? And when trying to get him to mobilise, he wasn't good on his feet.
He was too vulnerable to be left on his own. He couldn't walk. He'd already fallen over once.
That's not like you at all, Brian, is it?
So maybe there was something underlying that had caused him to fall.
As Brian is unable to stand up, Georgia and Stewart think Brian's dizziness could be down to a chest infection.
If you're not normally dizzy, and you're still dizzy now, you know, you might need some medication for it.
And down Russell's all in.
Down Russell's all.
Is there any dust or fumes in your work? There is?
Yeah, it's all dust and...
That doesn't help, does it? How long have you worked there, then? You say not long.
A month ago, they took me on full-time.
That's good then, isn't it? You're obviously a good worker.
They took me on full-time. They give me full-time employment.
Good.
Contract.
Some steady income, isn't it?
Oh. You're married?
I'm not, no. Too young for that.
How old are you then?
Only 21.
You what?
21.
Oh, you're older than that.
With his charm offensive over, Brian is left in the safe hands of the hospital's medical team to assess his chest and lungs.
There we go.
There you are, darling. Not a problem.
Oh, I went shopping last night, and because you know I hit that sweet spot at 7 o'clock. Yep. When everything's reduced. I had venison sausages for 29p.
Oh, I could just eat chunks of cheese. Cheese and pork. I've got cheese wraps, right, with salad, and then the coleslaw that I've put on is cheese coleslaw. I just love cheese. Yeah. What's cheese that's not yours? Nacho cheese.
Or I might have the Feast of Kings tonight. Spaghetti on toast with cheese.
That does sound attractive.
Until it's a glorious, soggy blob.
I may join you.
It's lunchtime in the West Midlands. Paramedic Michael Anslow and student paramedic Dimitri Holloway might be halfway through a 12-hour shift, but there's no time for a lunch break yet.
We're going to Kings Winford for a domestic assault for a 76-year-old female, which has come from the police. Assaulted by husband who suffers from dementia. The husband has thrown his wife against the patio door and kicked her while she's been on the floor. It must be scary for sort of the wife, obviously. The husband doesn't know, he's obviously not doing it maliciously.
The crew arrive in just over 3 minutes. The victim, Jean, has fled to a neighbour's house for safety, but she's still clearly distressed.
Are you able to tell me what's happened today, Jean?
To tell you the truth, I
Okay.
can't remember, remember a lot about
Yeah.
it, because I was like
It would have
biting
all
him
happened,
and trying
yeah.
to get him off me, and I kept saying, I was screaming and shit, and I said,
Okay.
you're going to kill me? I said, stop. Yes, I'm going to kill you. And then when I was on the floor, he said, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
I thought,
shame.
yeah, you are this time. I thought that.
A lot of the time, people with dementia don't know, and they're not consciously aware of the situation, and they're often forgetting things. So potentially, Jean's husband didn't recognise Jean and has seen maybe Jean as an intruder. And obviously, that could have caused the attack. And she's been subjected to that quite a few times, from what she was saying, so it's not the first time it's happened.
How long have you been married for?
58 years.
A long time.
Jean's husband punched her in the head, the stomach, and threw her against a patio door, which means she could have multiple injuries.
Can I just check if you've got any neck or back pain? So if you just sit nice and still and stay nice and still, is there any pain just specifically where I'm pressing? Anything here?
No. No, it's farther up, it's like sore. It's where I went on the floor, I think.
Okay, but nothing sort of in your spine where I'm pressing
No.
now, my lovely? No. Okay, if you relax your head for
I'm
me.
a tough old bird, I tell you.
Definitely.
What I've had over the last 2 years.
Jean has suffered several blows to the head, so Michael wants to check she hasn't got concussion.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just slipping your glasses off. I just want to shine a bit of a bright light in your
I've
eyes.
just had these glasses, I could have killed him.
So you've got a bit of a headache at the moment. Is sort of your face, does that feel sore anywhere?
My face is sore, yeah.
I can't see any obvious sort of injury on your head. It's probably going to be very sore.
Yeah.
But thankfully I can't feel any lumps.
No.
I think a large proportion in Jean's case was the emotional trauma of what she'd been through. So it was important to differentiate between her being medically well, but then to also offer her the emotional support that she needed.
Are you primary carer? As in, like, do you do all the caring aspects for him?
Yeah. He can't do anything now.
Okay.
Yeah. But he goes down every week. He's gone down really fast.
As in deteriorated?
In 2 years, yeah.
Right. So he was first diagnosed 2 years ago, and ever since he's declined quite rapidly.
All downhill, yeah.
What's going on in regards to the police? Obviously, we've come in after they've been here. Are you sort of... What have they said to you?
He said he either goes somewhere or I'll go somewhere. I'm not going back in there with him.
In Jean's case, it was a hard decision because ultimately it will mean potentially separating her and her husband, and that's quite hard to think about emotionally when they spent such longer time together.
Is anyone going to be with you throughout the day? Or a friend, or
Somebody will come eventually,
someone
someone
that
they
can-
find out the time.
someone that can
Would
check
you
up
be
on
able
you.
to see Jean, just do a bit of a welfare check on her, make sure she's okay at some point, yeah?
Well, that's the one they give me.
That'd be okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Jean's neighbour Val agrees to let her stay for the rest of the day.
Jean,
Yeah.
sure you're going to be okay? Yeah. Any problems,
I'll be all
call us
right.
back.
I mean,
all
it's
right.
going to take me a bit of time.
Absolutely.
Because I'm mental and physical, isn't it, really? But I'll be all right.
You've got good support from your friends by the looks of it and your
Yes, I've got-
family, so
yeah.
that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any problems, feel free to call us back. All
Okay.
right.
Well, thanks very much.
No
Jean,
problem
all the best.
anytime, Jean, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, lads.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your help.
Have a good rest of the day.
All right.
See ya.
Thank you. Oh, that's really sad. Especially for the wife when they've been married so long, and obviously the husband, I don't think is going to realise what he's done potentially. I mean, she said, didn't she, that she was being assaulted sort of before his diagnosis of dementia. So potentially he's had dementia for longer, and she's been putting up with it.
Potentially six years.
Yeah.
That's a very long time. It's a very, very long time.
2-year-old Toby scared his mum when he had a bad seizure right in front of her. He'd suffered a febrile convulsion, which is common in young children when they get too hot. At hospital, he was checked over by a nurse and given more paracetamol to control his temperature. He promptly fell asleep for 2 hours. He was soon back home and thankfully hasn't had another seizure since. Kate's asthma attack was so serious, paramedics Matt and Preet couldn't stabilise her breathing. At hospital, doctors gave her steroids and a new inhaler, and she hasn't suffered another attack since. She's healed well after her tummy tuck and is back working out in her beloved gym. Syed was at the centre of a car crash when his taxi collided with a car. It was his first ever accident, and he was a bit shaken up by the whole thing. Luckily, he wasn't hurt and was back behind the wheel after a few days' rest. Brian, who'd fallen over in the street, was allowed home after only a few hours in A&E. But just a week later, he collapsed again, this time at work. He was kept in hospital overnight, given a course of antibiotics for a chest infection and a nebulizer to help his breathing. 76-year-old Jean hurt her head and her hip when she was assaulted by her husband, who suffers from dementia. Sadly, Jean now doesn't feel safe to carry on living with him in their home. He's now moved into a specialist care home for people with dementia. Jean visits him regularly and says he's now much calmer.
Oh, officially off. Yes.